In our life, we have to carry the education because the education is most important to build any country. When the government motivates the people to learn, believe me, the country will be strong and the economy will be strong. Somebody asked me why the government have to carry the education. The answer will be, when we care the education, we create people with skills and experience. And these people will work to develop the country.
Education is very important for all segments of society, and it is the most important factors in the decisions. And in this video we will talk about education in the past, present and future. Education was very difficult in the past because lack of the necessary means. And now Mr. Hassan will talk about education in the past.
Education began in Saudi Arabia by more than 80 years, where it was a brief curricula to teach tenets of the religion, mathematics, science, and history. All education depends on a memorization where a student sits on the form a loop and the teacher in the center of this loop. The tools that are used by the students is lab manufactured for writing of word and chalk for writing.
In the present, education become easy to get because of the technologies and the easy teaching methods. And now Mr. Saleh will talk about education at the present.
When we talk about the development of education, we talk about in this time because we have had use the last technology in this world. Follow me to show you how to use the TTC College, the technology. When we come in this class, we will, the student and teacher will be motivated because we use a computer and a projector and a whiteboard. Also, the projector with camera, you can see this is paper. We can show in the wall. This is many things to make the lesson very interesting. Also, we have many computers here, and the teacher can control with the computer by his computer. He can control all of this computer. This is the technology we can use in TTC. And thank you.
Now Mr. Majid will talk about education in the future.
there will be more creativity in education, because that's what careers will require. Education will be not just taking in information and sharing it back, but also figuring out what to do with that information in the real world. Technology like Evernote, Google and Siri will be standard and will change what teachers value and test for. Basically, if you can ask Siri to answer a question, then you will not be evaluated on that. Instead, learning will be project-based. The student will be evaluated on critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Literature and math will still be taught, but they will be taught differently. Math will be taught as a way of learning how to solve problems and puzzles. In literature, a student will be asked what a story means to them. Instead of taking tests, students will be shown learning through creative projects. The role of teachers will be to guide students in the areas where they need guidance as innovators. Finally, I hope to develop education in the future, because it is very important in our life and important to development countries.
The education is very important in our life. It's changed every year, and we will take the opinion of the people about the difference between the best and the present in the education.
And the difference between the past and the present, in the past, education was not so much about looking at what was needed for employment. Education is different now. It also helps to train people for jobs, and that's really important. Your second question about technology, sure, I think there's a lot of use for technology in teaching. I think it's really important. It makes lessons more interesting, makes teaching more interesting. So I think technology is useful as an aid to teaching. But it's only an aid. You still need the teacher to actually get involved in doing the teaching.
In the past, dealing with education in the past, classes were always led by the teacher, and the teacher controlled the class. The input to the class and what the class did and the time spent in the class was all controlled by the teacher. Nowadays we tend not to do that so much. We tend to let the students sort out and deal with some of their own learning themselves through group work or through research or by using the library, so that they are in control of their own learning rather than the teacher being in total control of the learning.
Technology, of course, can help. It cannot replace. A technology cannot replace the teacher. A technology can support, and this is what teachers have to learn. Teachers have to learn how to use technology to support the way of teaching. They cannot replace the way of teaching.
What is the history of education? You see me, I'm the history. I'm now an old man. I need more young men like you, and they can do the job very good, with more passion. And the second question is, how can we use the modern technology? I have one modern technology. In the moment I was in the class and the people take a quiz with Kahoot. Kahoot is quite good to review a lesson, to do things in a lesson, and the people like it. Okay, have fun.